Hey Dad,
Yes.
how did you get this scar on your stomach?
All right. So you know what GAA is? GAA is the Irish game. So you either got the Gaelic football or the hurling, and then Ireland's broken up into 32 counties, and the county that I'm from is Antrim. So our Antrim were playing Wexford, and at this stage we lived in Waterford. We didn't live up in Belfast anymore, right? So I actually got the top from Uncle R, and I was all happy about it. And I finally got to wear it at the game, and Antrim was playing, and we went to the pub and stuff like that, and we were drinking. And then after we finished a couple of drinks at the pub, we decided to go up to my friend's house. So there was about 6 of us, and we walked up. And as we walked past the house, there was a guy, 2 guys actually standing in the garden, and they saw that I was wearing the Antrim jersey, and they didn't like it because it was from the north, and there's a lot of hostility between Catholics and Protestants up in the north. So obviously I was there wearing an Antrim top, and one of them said to me, you know, something not very nice about being Protestant, which I wasn't.
Yeah.
And I just started laughing and walked off. And then one of my friends said, "What did he say to you?" So he was giving me grief because of where I'm from. And he's like, "Oh, dude, we'll go back to him," because he didn't like the other guy. So I was like, okay, we went back, and then I thought that's what the fight was going to be, but it didn't. The guy who said something to me was like, "Oh yeah, you want to fight?" And he jumps over his gate, and he came at me, and he was bigger than me. So I got into a bit of a fight with him. So every time he tried to punch me, because I was smaller, I was able to duck under, and then every time he turned around, I punched him twice in the face, and then he threw another punch, and I ducked under him. And then he got really upset, and he lost the plot, and you could see there was just something not correct with him, and he just was like, "Oh," and then he quickly jumped over his fence, and I thought, he's going to get a weapon. So I quickly ran up to my friend's house, who usually has a bag of golf clubs. So I was like, I'll get that and bring it back. But when I opened up the door, his mum had actually cleaned that day and tidied everything up, so there was nothing there. And I heard all my friends shouting at me, and I thought they were telling me to come down. But when I went down, what they were actually doing was telling me to stay away because they knew what he had. It was a sword. But because I had drink in me and I was full of adrenaline, I actually went down to the guy, and I thought it was a poker for poking the fire. Remember, like the last story I told you, poke the fire? Yeah. I thought that's what it was. And I said to myself, I'll take that off him and I'll show him what's what. And then he made a swing for me, so I moved out of the way, and then I quickly grabbed it, and it sunk into my fingertips. And all of a sudden I sobered up just like that and went, "That's not a poker." So I was like, "Oh no." And I grabbed him by here, I pulled him close, and I just held him like that. And then I was like, "What am I supposed to do here?" And all I could do was just keep headbutting him and hope for the best. And I was just headbutting and headbutting and headbutting, and nothing was happening to him. He was just in some craze that nothing was hurting him, nothing. And then he pulled it, and he pulled it right out like that, and it sliced me there. And as soon as his hands went out, 2 of my friends jumped on him, and we managed to get him on the ground. And then we got managed to get the sore off him. But yeah, he was just in such a rage. He nothing ever. I don't think anything was going to stop him that day. But we don't know how we managed. Whatever happened, all that occurred. And then yeah, I'm just standing there, and I've got I'm cut, and I'm going, wow, this is bad. I've never had this before, because I've just been cut with a sword, and it's Ireland. Ireland are known for fisticuffs. They're not known for hiding swords behind a door and coming out and acting all like a samurai. So yeah, I was standing there with my friends, and then they were all in shock looking at me, and then they were just saying, "So what do we do? What do we do?" I said, "I don't know. Can someone give me a big beach towel, please?" So they got a big beach towel, and then I says, "Quick, tie it around me." So they tied it around me, and then they tied it once, and then when you go to tie it the second time, they didn't hold this bit, so it all loosened up, and they tied it, and it just fell down by my feet, and I'm just like, lads, I'm going to bleed out here. Give me that. Right, here, do this. So, and then I told him, right, one go around that side, tied it. One went that way, one went that way. And then I told him to cross over and come back around the front. So we did it, and then we tied it again, and we tied it nice and tight. And then I went, and then as soon as I did that, I went, oh yeah, my fingers, I forgot about that. So I wrapped that up and I was just holding it like this here. And then everyone's just standing and I went, okay, lads, how long is the ambulance going to be? And they all looked at each other and they were like, ambulance? Did you call the ambulance? Did you call the ambulance? I said, lads, come on, I'm dying here and he's not calling an ambulance. And then one of the guys, he's from the UK, and he was just in total shock at the whole thing. He lifted up the phone and he rang and all he could do was like, stab! Ambulance! Stab! Stab! And then he wasn't making any sense and I was like, are you okay? I need someone! And my other friends, sisters just said, give me that food! Yeah, we're out here by this shop and yeah, someone's been attacked by a sword and yeah, he's actually cut and they've got a bandaged up, but yeah. I said, right, cool, ambulance is on the way, it's brilliant. And then we're waiting there, right, for the ambulance to come. I go, is this where I die? I was like, it never happened before, so I'm like, is this where I die? I'm not looking at it because I hear people like pass out or, and I'm like, no, I'm not looking at it. And then I just say, also one of the lads, he's just like, are you okay? Are you okay? I can take you in my car. I said, yeah, okay. But if you get a big beach towel, we can put the beach towel because you've got a brand new car and I don't want to get blood on your seats and everything. And he said, F the bloody seats, Brian. Get in the car. So we drove off down and then, we're missing a part. What actually happened was I had one of my sisters over in the house and you could actually see the house from where I was. Look, see, I'm still holding that, like, still my scar. I'm still trying to stop the blood because I'm in the story. And I got a phone call from your auntie, and she was like, "Can you hang Michael?" And I'm, just all patched up, and I'm like trying to pick it. Shh, everybody. Shh. No, Michelle, it's not a good idea. I've been drinking tonight, and then she was like really upset. She was like, "You never babysit." I was like, I have to tell her, can you look out the window? Look over by the shop. And she's like, yeah. I said, do you see me waving to you? I said, yeah. Look, don't tell me, but I've just been cut with a sword and I need to go to hospital. The ambulance is on our way. And she's like, oh no. And I was like, don't tell Mummy, she's at work. Your granny worked further away from the hospital than where I was. So that was okay. So we got into this guy's car and we drove down and we drove about 2 kilometres down the road and the ambulance was coming around the roundabout and we flashed it, stopped it, got out and I said, so tell us Brian, what's all happening to you? And I was like, yeah, it's okay, so how you feeling? I said, I'm okay. And then they injected me with something and I was like, hey, hello, what's your name? And then I ran out of the hospital. I guess if my mum finds me like this, she's gonna kill me. And I don't know how, but we drove up the hill, down this road, and then down another road, and then we were at the hospital, and then we brought in the emergency room, and then, not kidding you, your granny was standing there going, what are you doing, mister? How did you get here so quick? So she was already at the hospital.